to today's Oracle Apex Office Hour session. I'm Carsten Sarski. I'm an architect on the Apex team, and I will be your host today. And this is a bit of a special Office Hour session, which I look forward to, I have to say, for a few years, right? Because what we will do today is that we will give you an insight on not only on Apex and the new release, but also on a combination of Oracle Apex and Oracle text in the Oracle database. I'm super happy that we have the Oracle text team here. And the Oracle text team will guide us through not only what you can do with Oracle text in the database, but also what can the new database release, the upcoming database release 23C, what's new there. And then I'm happy to have Florian from the Apex team here, who will show us how these fantastic things about Oracle text in the database, how you can leverage that in Oracle Apex. And we have stuff for everybody, right? This is Oracle text functionality available for ages. We have Oracle text functionality new to the upcoming database release 23C. We have Oracle text functionality in Apex, which is there for years, and new functionality in the upcoming Apex release. So something new to learn, some reminder about existing stuff, hopefully something for everybody. And while we are talking about Apex 23.2, most of you know it, of course, but for everybody, on apex.oracle.com, we have the preview release of Apex 23.2 installed. So you can log into your workspace, try out the new Apex 23.2 features out, or if you don't have a workspace, just grab one. You will get it in a matter of just a few minutes. Just one caveat message here, apex.oracle.com runs a 19C database. So unfortunately, you will not be able to try out the stuff you are seeing here there, right? Just not the right database version. However, database 23C, a beta, an early release is available for download, which you can use. And once Apex 23.2 comes available for download, you can bring stuff together. Okay, I was saying we are the third part of the 23.2 new feature series, this being a bit of a special part, as already said. And the recordings for the previous sessions are not there yet, but they will be made available soon, right? So stay tuned on this. And we have two more sessions outstanding next week and the first day after, where we could continue introducing the new Apex 23.2 features to you, right? Events, new month starts, and there is a bit of activity going on. Of course, the session we are in right now, then the other two, I already talked about this. And then we have the Australian Users Conference, which starts in 10 days. And a week after, we will have the annual German Users Conference in Nuremberg, where you can tap into the community, talk to others, and talk to the Oracle people who are attending there. And with that, I'm super happy that I can now hand the stage over to Alexandra Chalinska from the Oracle text team and Roger Ford, also from the Oracle text team, who will now give us an insight about what is Oracle text at all and what are the latest developments with Oracle text. And after that, we will hear from Florian how this can be hooked up in Apex, how you can leverage these things in your Apex applications. And with that, Alex, Roger, the stage is yours. To everybody, have a lot of fun.
Thank you so much, Carsten. All right, everyone. Thank you so much for having us. Good morning, good evening, everyone. My name is Alexandra Chalinska, and I'm the Director of Development for Oracle Text Search. So what is Oracle Text Search? As Carsten mentioned, it is something that has been part of Oracle for quite a many number of years, but not everybody is necessarily aware of or has been making full use of the power of this engine. So Oracle Text is a product within the database, which is capable of producing full text search. So this means your Google-like search experience where you're able to access the full text of documents and search them by a variety of keywords anywhere in that document. But it is a lot more than that as well. What you would expect from a typical search engine nowadays. It can provide you with snippets about the documents that you've searched, the theme of the document, so what it's about. It can extract entities from your documents, and it can even perform sentiment analysis on the query words that you have issued. So what is, the general sentiment of this document, positive, negative, neutral, and so forth. So it's quite a bit of an analytical engine in addition to being a full text search engine. It is easy to use in any application that speaks SQL. So there's a create index statement that will create this index for you. And there is a contains clause that will enable you to search this with a SQL query. So it's quite straightforward for your SQL applications. Most importantly, it is free in all versions and all editions of the Oracle database, even in the XE all the way up to Enterprise Edition. And also quite importantly nowadays, it is also part of all the cloud offerings out there. So you're free to go and play with it and see what kind of things you can find. The engine is also multilingual, which I know is very important from the variety of people that we have joining on the call from all over the world. It is important that it supports searches in more than just English, and it supports many document formats. And that's acknowledging that you might have important corporate data in PDF documents or Excels or even zip files, and it's important to handle those. Oracle Text is more than just a like operator for your searches. As we've been hinting at, it comes with a variety of query operators, such as stemming and fuzzy and name search. And these are all algorithms that are specialized for imprecise searches where maybe you don't know the spelling or something's been misspelled and you want to be able to find this. Now, what is really important about using this kind of index is what kind of information can you grab into it? So typically, of course, you would be able to index a single column of textual data. This could be these PDF documents or just any kind of plain text that you have in there, blobs. But you also have the capability of indexing and searching against multiple columns that are present in the same table. So there's a mechanism of picking those up through something called a multi-column data store preference. Now that is a little bit more advanced. And so today we are very excited to show you a new easy mechanism for you to search data across different sources. So that's one of the things we'll be showing you today, how easy that is. And of course, there's also the use case of picking up data from different tables, which traditionally would have been done through the mechanism of a user data store. Again, a little bit harder. And today we'll be happy to show you a really new and fun way to pick up the data from these multiple sources. So that's my 2-3 minute introduction on Oracle Text. And I think right now would probably be a good time to hand that over to Roger for your demo.
Okay, so today I want to show you some of the basic capabilities of Oracle Text, plus some new functionality from 23C. So I'm in SQL Workshop, and I'm going to be working with a couple of tables in the order history schema. So we're going to look at the products table, and that's got a bunch of columns in there, product name, some JSON, product details, and so on. And then there's another simpler table just called customers, and that is basically customer ID, the name, and the email address. So let's start off with the customers table. Now, if I wanted to create a keyword index, a full text index on the full name field, then I would do that in Oracle Text by using a simple create index statement with this index type is ctx_sys.context, telling it it's a full text index. So that's creating an index on the full name field of the customers table. And when I've run that, I can then do contains searches against that column. So here I'm doing select star from customers where contains, then column name, full name, and I'm searching for the word green. So, you know, there's no wildcards there because this is a word-based search. I don't need to use any wildcards if I'm looking for whole words. And that's then found Michael Green within the full name. So that's pretty simple. But if I wanted to create a single index on multiple columns and multiple tables, it could be done previously, but it was quite complicated. So in 23C, we've introduced this concept of the Ubiquitous Search Index, or DBMS search. And all I need to do is call dbms search.create index and give it an index name, search index. That will create a table called search index, so the same name as the index that I created. So let's describe that. Oops, search. This is why I save all my commands normally. But let's look at that. That's got a bunch of columns. We're going to look at these in a little more detail in a moment. Metadata and data are the main columns, and it also has owner and source in there. So this table is empty at the moment because I haven't added any sources to my index. So let's add the customers to that index. And that would be there. So dbms search.add source, give it the name of the index and the source that I want to add, which in this case is the customers table. Could be it could be a table or it could be a view. So we'll add that. And that table has now been added to the index, and all of the data in it, any varchar columns, any JSON, any number columns will all be indexed from that table. So let's have a look at the metadata column of the table and see what we've got in there. So now this is one row per document per row from the original table that we added, and you can see the only data in this metadata is the key for the table, but the rest of it is about where the data came from. And this is in JSON format, which is quite important, as we'll see in a moment. So let's add another source to that table. So we're now adding products. And if we now look at the sources, so now I'm doing a select distinct of the sources, then we can see that we have both customers and products. And because the metadata is in JSON format, I'm using JSON dot syntax here. So saying table.column.source, and that's extracting the source from the JSON. But we can also do this in a slightly simpler way, because the table has virtual columns in there, which are extracted from the JSON, and I can get customers and products from that. And I can also do a group by on that to see how many rows there are from each of those tables in my index. So we've got 395 customers and 46 products in there. Okay, now you may recall there was a data column as well as a metadata column in that table. So let's have a look at that. Select s.data from search index, and actually we find that's empty. That's because although the data is the key column that we're going to be running our searches against, we don't actually store all of your data in there. The data's in the original tables, so there's no reason to duplicate it all and keep it in the search index as well. So we fetch the data in, we index it, and then effectively we throw away that data that once we've indexed it. We don't need to store it. So if we want to see what data was actually indexed, we use a function called getDocument. So now we're doing dbms search.getDocument. We're passing in the name of the index and then the metadata that we're actually fetching from the search index, so that it knows which document it needs to fetch. So let's run that. And this is effectively the data that was originally indexed. So you can see again, it's in JSON format. And this is the actual data from the table. So for a customer record, it's fairly simple. The only data in there is the ID, the name, and the email address. But if we restricted this to source equals products, then you would see something quite a bit more complicated, because it's got a load of columns in there, including some JSON data. Okay, so great so far, but we haven't done any searches. So let's have a look at a search. Now, again, like the original example, we can use the contains operator to do a full text search, and we're looking for the word green. So let's run that. And that's now found one record in the customers table where we have a name including the word green. And then there's also a load of records from the products table where the word green is in there somewhere. And of course, we could restrict that to just the customers. So we can say and source equals customers. But there's also another way we can do this. Because all this is JSON format, we can actually use JSON operators against it. So we're going to use the JSON text contains, which is a variation of the contains operator. But this allows us to put a JSON path in there. So that's saying I only want to find the word green where it's somewhere in the customers record. Or I could change that to products. And then it would only search the products table. Or even if I go back to customers, run that, and I could look within a particular field. So I could look for customers.full name is green, and then that would only search that one and would ignore any records where that appeared in the email address but not in the name. So that's a JSON path and allows us to restrict the query to certain owners, tables, and columns in the original table. Okay, now since this is an Oracle text index, I can do more than just simple word searches. I can do wildcard searches. So that's looking for any word that begins with green. And that, that's then going to find Michael Green and Michaela Green with an E on the end of it. I can also get a bit more fancy, and I can do fuzzy searches. So this is saying fuzzy Michelle, a word that is spelt or sounds similar to Michelle and contains the word, a word beginning with green. So actually, I think that's going to come up with the same results. Yeah, so Michael and Michaela are both fuzzy matches for Michelle. They're spelt quite similarly, and the green is there with or without the E on the end. So fuzzy searching is a really good way of matching against mistyped or misspelled words. Okay, now what you might find is that your users aren't going to know this full syntax. So let's say your user types in something like white shirt boy. Let's run that and see what we get. Okay, nothing. There's nothing that contains that actual phrase white shirt boy, but there is stuff in the database that sort of matches that. Now, we provide a parser capability. This is code that you can download from GitHub, and that will take a user search and convert it into something that is guaranteed to work in Oracle text as a search. So here I'm taking white shirt boy, the user search. I'm saying I want that back as an and search. So let's run that and see what we get. And that's going to give us this back. So it's white and shirt and boy. They're all enclosed in braces to escape any special characters or keywords within that string. So that is a syntax that's guaranteed to work in Oracle text. So let's plug that string into my original query. So we've got the JSON text contains, we're looking in the products table, and we're looking for the three words white, shirt, and boy. And now we successfully found that. So there we go. It's got boy, it's got shirt, and it's got white, but not in the original order. So using a function like this parser capabilities allows you to take a user query and convert it into something that Oracle text will use in the way that you want it. And the parser is quite flexible and has a whole load of different functions depending on how you want to perform the user search. So, okay, that's an example of how you can use this new DBMS search capability within SQL. But I guess what you're really interested in is what happens when you make use of this new capability from within Apex. So I'm going to hand this on now.
Roger gave us a great introduction to Oracle text functionalities. We learned about the SQL contains expression and saw how to perform fuzzy searches, for example. Roger also explained the new 23C database feature, Oracle Ubiquitous Database Search, and showed us how to use the DBMS search package. And now I want to demonstrate how to use Oracle text and Ubiquitous Database Search in Apex. I already have prepared an application for us. And I will quickly go to my faceted search page. So, what you are seeing now is this page is using our faceted search component. We can filter for the genres, crime, drama, comedy, whatever. And we can also use a simple search field. We can search, for example, for heroes. And when we look after heroes, then we see that it's actually a wildcard search. So we find superheroes and much more, but that's probably nothing new for you. I have also a similar page called movies. It's the same data source, and we can search here for the Forrest Gump movie. We will find it. That's great. And we can also search for Gump. It's also finding the Forrest Gump movie, right? But when we misspell it and we are typing in Gump with a B, for example, then we are getting no data found. Yeah. So what can we do here? That's probably something you missed before. Maybe not, but I will show how you can work with this. So I go to the page designer. And there we have our page item for the search. And here's the field. We can define if we want to use row search with the database columns, or we can also switch to Oracle text. When we define Oracle text, and we will choose our Oracle text index column here for the database column, then we are also able to do Oracle text functionalities. So for example, we can type in fuzzy Gump. So we can use the fuzzy expression to also search for Gump, and when we spell it wrong, then we can, when we misspell it, then we also find Forrest Gump here. What we also saw, what Roger showed us, is that we can use a parser functionality from the database. So I will go to the application settings, and I will go here to the application definition, and here's a field, Oracle text function. And I have a function in the database called convert end user search. So it's a parser functionality that Roger showed us before. And I will apply this, And now our faceted search will use it. So we can just search for GUMP, spell it wrong, and the fuzzy search is happening in the background. So we don't have to type in fuzzy for this example. We have been supporting Oracle Text in our components for some time. This was an example of using Oracle Text with a faceted search, but the same example can be applied to other components, such as the interactive report or the interactive grid. But how does a solution look like if, for example, multiple tables are to be searched with one search? That was not easy, right? Of course, you might build your own solution, but it's a technical challenge to query multiple database sources with just one search and display the results in a meaningful way. So with the Apex version 22.2, the application search feature has been introduced. With this feature, it is declaratively possible to query different data sources in one search. No matter if the data source is a table or a view or a remote database or even a REST API. You can also perform tokenized row search, or of course, you could also use the power of Oracle Text. And additionally, if you have the full control over the search result UI. So let's explore this feature now. I will close this page and I will go to the shared components. And there we have the search configurations. So we don't have any in our application, but I will create a new one. Let's spell it trending, and it's a standard search type because we will use a REST data source, but we could choose an Oracle Text search type. We could use Oracle Ubiquitous Search. We will later do that, but for now we are going forward with a standard data source type. I will choose a REST data source that is also already part of the application. It's TMDB trending, so it's from the TMDB side. And I will just do some column mapping. So we do that, the column mapping, to define what will show in the search result. So the primary key column is the ID, the title will be displayed for the name column, and the description will be the overview. Now I click on Create Search Configuration. And let's directly create a search page. So what's also coming with Apex 22.2 and the application search feature is in our wizard, we have the search page. I will give it a name, for example, search data. And I will choose my search configuration that I have created before. And let's simply run this page. I'm just typing in wildcard, and let's see what's coming back. So we are getting information back from our REST data source, but it's probably not so good looking that we expected. So now we go in our search configuration and we can do some more mapping. So I would scroll down. There we have our column mapping. And you can see that I already choose the ID for the primary key column, for example, and for the title. For the title column, I will choose the title. For the batch column, I will choose the vote average, so the rating. Let's see what we else have. The subtitle could be the media type, for example. It's differs if it's a show or a movie. And for the last modified column, I will leave it blank. But what I want to set is the icon source. I have an image URL in my data, in my table, so I can choose my column poster URL. And in addition, I will type in a link URL. So that's the URL column. And let's show our result again. And we see a good looking image. We are seeing the title. We are seeing if it's a movie or if it's a TV show. And what we also can do is we can open the link to the movie database. Yes, and we also see the rating. Now let's add some more data sources. We go back to the search configuration page, and I will click on create. And now I will call it movies. And I will now choose Ubiquitous Database Search. So the search type Oracle Ubiquitous Search. And what we have here is a search index name. So we have the search index that is previously created by Roger. And we have a TeamDB search. That's my index that I have created before. And the search source name. We have two sources, and so it's actually two views in our search, in our ubiquitous search source. In our index, we have two sources, movies and shows, and I will choose movies here. And the title column, will be title, and the description will also be the overview. Now I will also type in a search query prefix here in our search configuration. So that will be relevant later. I will show it to you. And what we can do for the subtitle column is, for example, we can map the genres. Batch column will also be the vote average. And for the last modified column, we can pick the release date. For the icon, we will do the same. Poster URL will be fit in here. And for the link type, we will pick the URL so that we can open the TMDB link. I will click on Apply Changes. And I will do the same quickly for the shows data source. So index name is again TMDB search. So source name will be shows now. Then I will choose a title, that's the name here. The description will also be the overview column. The search query prefix will be show. And I will scroll down to the batch column, that will be the vote average. The subtitle will be the genres, and the last modified column will be the first air date of the show. Okay, poster URL and the link type, right? Fine, we have 3 search configurations now. Let's go back to the page designer. And in our search results region, we can see our search source trending. We will add a search source here. So right-click, create search source, and then we will pick the name movie or movies, and we will pick our search configuration that we have created before. We will create another search source that will be called shows. And what I will do now is I will set the trending search source as use as initial result. So we won't search in this search source. We will just, when we open the page, we will just see the trending movies and shows. And what else? In our search results region, under attributes, we can see that at the moment, when we type in, a search is executed. At the moment, it's with minimum of characters of 0. I will just change it to 3, so you can see how it affects. You can also see that you can use a custom layout for the search results region, and you can also define it in your search configuration. So you can really customize your search result UI. You can also choose the last modified format mask, and you can pick an overall sort. For example, for the map title, for the search score, when you use Oracle text, for example, and you can also do some pagination settings. But let's go back in our page now. I will clear the search input, and now what we are getting immediately a search result that's coming from the trending search source. But we can type in FA. You can see now nothing happens because we say we set the minimum characters to 3, and now we can search, for example, for families. And what's happening now? We don't really hit families, but we set in the application settings, we defined a convert an Oracle text function, right? So let's go back to the edit application definition, and that's what's executed in the background now, also for our new search page. So it doesn't affect only our faceted search. And you can also type in something like show families. And what's happening now is that in our search configuration, the search query prefix is picked up. And now with this prefix, we are just searching in our shows search configuration. Yeah, that's pretty much I wanted to show in the given time today.
Yeah, thank you very much, Florian. Thank you very much, Roger. Yeah, let me quickly summarize this a bit. I think you've seen quite a bit of content here. And there was also a question about database releases, when is that available? And so I would like to wrap this a bit up for you guys, right? And Roger and Alex were showing us the capabilities of Oracle Text. And Oracle Text, as Roger was saying, is available in the database for ages, right? If I remember correctly, the very first versions of Oracle Text were back in Oracle 7 in the 90s, right? So really, really long-standing functionality. And so can I use Oracle Text on my database? Unless you're not running Oracle 4, right? The answer is most likely yes. In Apex, search configurations, what Florian has shown is available since 22.2. Faceted search is available since 19.2. So depending on the component you are using, the Oracle text support, so the declarative Oracle text support is available. In current Apex releases, Oracle Text is available for faceted search, interactive report, interactive grid, the pop-up LOV even, and search configurations, right? So, but we also saw new features today, and Roger showed us how to create the ubiquitous search index, right? And ubiquitous search That's a very new feature of the upcoming database release 23.2, right? And ubiquitous search is really about making that process of creating a text index so simple, right? Create the index, add a source, add another source, done, right? That is super simple, and that is the upcoming database release 23.2. Oracle text as such, where creating the index is a bit more work, is available on older database releases. And the upcoming Apex release 23.2 contains declarative support for that new 23.2 feature. So to play with Oracle text, you can start today, right? You don't even have to go to the brand new Apex release on apex.oracle.com. You can do it on your very Apex instance, Oracle text and Apex in Oracle text. That's available on almost for everybody in this audience here. And to get a feeling without building an application first, you might try out our rather new sample application. So not so new, it's a few weeks old now. But we have a sample application, especially for search things, right? And this contains search configurations, which Florian has shown, right? And it also contains an Oracle text example. So you want to see, oh, what can I do with Oracle text? Can't remember how that exactly worked from that office hours session. Have a look into that application. There is a special announced section about how to work with or how to hook up Oracle text in your Apex application. You can really take the content of that application as a template to try out things. So that hopefully clears up the database version thing a bit, because we showed you quite a bit of stuff here. Yeah, thinking about the Q&A, and I'm now looking into what we had in the Q&A. One of the most important questions obviously was the tool which Roger used to pull in the SQL queries, but we answered that. Another question which I have seen, which is pretty which should be pretty interesting for everybody is, and I would like to read that to Alex and Roger. And it was asked right at the beginning of the session. So Jürgen, finally you get your answer. Any AI capability involved with Oracle text? And I think we can expand on this a bit. What is Oracle text doing in the AI space? And I think that's the gist of that question.
Right. Yeah. Really cool question, guys. Thanks for bringing that up. So Oracle Text has always tried to incorporate kind of the latest of machine learning and NLP and all these kinds of tools. So you will find even in the existing product, you'll have goodies in there, such as basically theme search or entity recognition. But what we're really doing and excited about in 23C is we're bringing AI vector similarity search to your familiar text index. So we're really jazzed about that. It hasn't been officially announced, so we're still working on that, but that is definitely coming in 23C. And it might replace the existing theme search that's already there in your index. So you can search by concepts today. But that's not based on this really super cool vector similarity search. So that's something that we're cooking up right now, and we'll be very excited to share with you guys that you can do keyword search alongside similarity search, and then you get really the best recall of both worlds. So we're very jazzed up about that.
Yeah, thank you. And I think that also, I think another one was asking about what are we planning to combine AI searches with existing keyword searches, but you were answered already, right? So a lot of stuff to be excited about and to stay tuned for, right? Another question, which is a bit more technical and which was answered in the chat already, is, but I think it's interesting for everybody, right? Especially if you didn't have so much experience with Oracle text. We are creating a new index here. And of course, the obvious question is, how much space does it take up, right? And I think that's something, somebody asked about that. How much database space do I have to account for that? And yeah, Alex, how much does somebody have to account for?
Yeah, great question, guys. Of course, you have to kind of think about these things. So typically the index would require about 30% of the size, maybe as much as up to 50% of the size of your original data. Now, that really depends on the complexity of the options, right? Whether you're creating a plain text vanilla search index or whether you're throwing in lots and lots of options for very detailed searches. So we've always been mindful of that when designing new features. And so, for example, in recent years, we introduced a wildcard search, which is supposed to be more efficient and replace different options like substring search. And it is very disk efficient. So, but the general recommendation would be that it's about 30% to 50% of your original size. So you want to accommodate for that. Hopefully that clarifies.
Yeah, thank you very much. Another question which I'm seeing here is not specific to this presentation. Will DBMS search be available on apex.oracle.com? And that's probably a question for us guys from the Apex team. Yeah, apex.oracle.com is right now on database 19c. And database 23c is not GA. It's actually not released yet, right? We are talking about preview releases right now. And I can't say when Apex Oracle.com will be upgraded, but I think we can be pretty sure that it will happen after GA of database 23c. So on apex.oracle.com, we have to say, stay tuned, it will take a while, right? But to try these things out, you can download the 23c free release, right? Install it on your local machine, wherever, and kick the tires, right? So definitely possible to try these things out today. Okay, so let me see what else we have. But I think those were the most important questions. All the other questions have been answered already. And I think we are 10 minutes before the top of the hour. I know you guys are used to us taking more than the hour all the time, but hey, good news today. Everybody gets 10 minutes of their time back. We hope that you like these things, right? My recommendation is try out Oracle Text in Apex today. Don't have to wait for this, right? 23c database and Apex 23c will just make it even cooler, even simpler, even way better. But today's things are cool enough, right? And you can try out the sample search application, try out, build your components, build a search configuration, hook up Oracle Text with your interactive report or faceted search. These things can all be tried out today. And it's all available at your fingertips. Your database has it, right? So just try it out. I say thanks, everybody, for today, right? It was a pleasure telling that. Thanks, Alex. Thanks, Roger. I was super happy to have that joint session with you guys together. Thanks, Florian, for showing all that Apex stuff. I wish everybody a good day. Take care wherever you are and see you in the next office hours then. Goodbye.
Thank you, guys.